I tell these rappers raise their hand like it's they turn or something. I heat this shit up like the oven and I earn something. You can't be afraid of work, I'm trying to earn something. They hate the...
Pittsburgh Raised, Ottawa-based Hip Hop artist Bobby Brugal encapsulates what it takes to be creative. Between his well-documented independent musical career, he's the founder of the lifestyles brand, Pvstlife Products. Bobby Brugal has become a staple in hosting with his podcast Newts and is now the in-host arena for the Ottawa BlackJacks. His charisma, energy, and passion are undeniable to the culture, and his presence is felt in every room he enters. In the past few years, Bobby Brugal has truly made a name for himself in the creative media space throughout the United States and Canada, and plans on bringing more projects to fruition while working on his brand. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Bobby Brugal in the building.
Birdman hand rub. You know what I mean?
Welcome. Currency ENT in the building. Brought to you by BIA Media, of course. So now, you're not from Ottawa originally. You're from a place that's known for a lot of things. Championships, whether it's the Pittsburgh Steelers
Facts.
Or it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, the main color theme over there is a lot of black and yellow. You know what I mean? I see the yellow, gold, and the black tee. I see how you're moving.
Trying.
And, you know, another thing Pittsburgh is known for, it's the city with the most bridges in the world. 446 bridges to be exact. More than Venice and Italy or any other city in the world. So tell me about what it's like growing up in Pittsburgh. What's that like?
That's fire. That's an ill, wow. They did their research on this, you know what I mean? So growing up in Pittsburgh for me, it was really fun. It was amazing. Like I said, I'm biased to it because it's all I knew, you know, but like, you know, Mr. Currency just said, it's like an amazing thing to know that your city's all one, you know what I mean? Like the whole black and yellow sense and stuff like that growing up, you know, even me right now, like I'm being sacrilegious because I'm wearing a Yankee hat, you feel me? Like in Pittsburgh, I can't do that, you know what I mean? Pittsburgh, you gotta put on your good old black and yellow, gotta get back straight to, you know, the home team. But I lived there for about 17 years, graduated high school there. You know, my family still lives there, my mother, my brother, niece, nephews, and it's my heart, you know what I mean? So, like Pittsburgh, it made me what I am, but then Ottawa made me, I like to say, like I'm a man, you know, an adult, you know what I mean? So, you know, I spent my second half of my life in Ottawa, so, you know what I mean? And yeah, Pittsburgh, we got a lot of cool shit. Like, if you go to Pittsburgh, go to Primanti's, go get a gyro, go to the Andy Warhol Museum, go see a Penguins game, Steeler game.
Yeah, you mentioned Andy Warhol,
Yeah.
A very famous artist from Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Other people from Pittsburgh, you know, Wiz Khalifa, black and yellow.
Shouts to Cam, the
Yeah,
best
I mean,
person from Pittsburgh.
Chevy Woods, you know, Pittsburgh, rest in peace, Mac Miller.
Kev the Hustler, Chevy Woods, Mac Miller. Mac Miller, cool story about Mac Miller. I met Mac Miller a couple of times. I met him twice. Met him one time when I was younger in Pittsburgh, and then met him one time when he was like pretty much blowing up in his career, and he was playing Ottawa. They played the Algonquin Theater, and his manager at the time, Will Casson, got me tickets because it was like some high school homie shit, you know what I mean? So got to meet Mac and kick it with the whole team and Most Dope at Algonquin, right here. And Mac was super cool. He's always like I said, I only met him twice, but the energy was amazing. Like both times I met him, so he's a legend, you know what I mean? So rest in peace to Mac.
Definitely RP or a real one.
Yeah.
And, you know, now bridging the gap from when you came to Ottawa and Pittsburgh, what was it like when you first came here? Ottawa, you know, it's a different scene altogether. It's not like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a little bit of a jungle for those that don't know. That's why it's called the Steel City.
Yeah.
Another thing a lot of people don't know. But,
Yeah.
you know, what's it like coming to a place like Ottawa, which is definitely a different tempo, different pace, and, you know, trying to find yourself out here? What was that like?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hold you. Originally, when I first came to Ottawa, I mean, it was like it was a big culture shock. You know what I mean? It was like a big change for me, just because I wasn't like.
What do you mean by culture shock?
It was a big. I mean, Pittsburgh's basic. All right, so culture shock wise, it's basic. Like Pittsburgh, you know, like demographic wise, race wise, there's only black and white people, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of Spanish people. There's not a lot of different ethnicities in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? So coming to Canada, you know, you learn different things and just different styles of living, you know what I mean? So whether it's like, you know, even like I got mad African brothers now, you know what I mean? I got mad Haitian brothers now. I got mad Cambodian brothers now. I got mad, you know, Filipino brothers now. Like, so in Canada, it's like, there's so many different cultures that I never even really thought about it. And then it opens your palette to learning more stuff, like, you know what I mean? Whether it's food or music, you know what I mean? So, crazy. Somebody's calling me right now, don't worry. No, but like, so Canada's just crazier in that, I think in that sense, because it's like, all the cultures are so different, but they're like so close together and meshed. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like a big, better melting pot. So I learned more with living here than I did within my little city.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So
kind of quick.
when did you decide that you wanted to really take the music thing seriously? I mean, back when you were in Pittsburgh, is that when it kind of started? Is it kind of when you're here in Ottawa, you saw there was a bit of a niche where you could have maybe taken, you know, advantage of your creative side?
Yeah.
Again, you are from a city where, you know, Andy Warhol is from, right? So
True.
I'm sure there must have been a lot of inspiration growing up around there.
Well, no, like, when I was young, I wanted to be like a lot of people. Obviously, I wanted to go to NBA, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to play ball until I was about 16, 17, competitively, not professionally, but competitively. And after ball, it was like a lot of my friends were just going to the studio, rapping, going to the studio, rapping, going to the studio. We had a friend, my man, Ghostwriter, Cal, Jevin, they was all going to the studio, and yeah, they was recording songs, and I would just kick it with them and like try to like, you know, write bars and figure it out. But I was still a hooper at that time, so I wasn't really rapping. Probably about 17, like I said. But the last year that I lived in Pittsburgh, I made a mixtape, and you know, it was just like a normal mixtape, like everybody, 10 songs, whatever. But it was dope. People liked it. I sent it to people in New York, sent it to people in Pittsburgh, sent it to people in Ottawa, everywhere, and they liked it. And then it gave me a little bit more confidence to like really start putting out music. So then I graduate and I move. And then by the time I graduate and move, I lived in Montreal for a little bit of time because I was to school in Montreal. And then my dad lives here. So as soon as I got here and stuff, I started dropping music because I met my DJ. My DJ, his name is DJ Mezz, shouts bro. And you know, it just kind of started snowballing from when I was like 19 years old, basically. But yeah, like Ottawa was the reason I got confident enough to make music, you know, and at that time it was like Shylock, rest in peace Shylock, Deuce Deuce, you know what I mean, C Squeezy, Hits, Young G. Like, man, it was just like it wasn't a lot of rappers in the city at the time, but it was like a lot of like culture and a lot of energy. And then it just made me want to make music, and then I just jumped in.
So having a good DJ, you know, is definitely a good component.
Yeah.
You're talking about being a basketball player before, so kind of like that Shaq and Kobe 1-2 combo.
We are.
So talking about DJ Mezz and how you guys ended up coming together and making all that good music.
Yo, man, all right, how much time we got? No, I'm joking. Mezz is like, he's amazing. Like, that's my big brother, my business partner, my, you know, and not just my DJ, but he's my brother, like actual brother, you know. I have a older brother, physical older brother from my mother, but other than that, Mezz is my big brother. So it's just, you know, he really showed me, first of all, we're like like-minded people, so I think with hip hop, you kind of get, you get into that like, that realm of like learning, you know what I mean? So like nowadays, I don't know if the young artists are learning the way they could be, but like, yo, Mezz put me through boot camps, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like Mezz was like, we was in the crib, he was really almost teaching me how to rap more than I knew how to rap. So, you know, he was putting on instrumentals just for hours and hours and hours, and it was kind of like a gauntlet vibe. And yeah, that's how I got nice with freestyling, and whether it's writing songs or learning different genres, you know what I mean? It's like the DJ ear helped me get to where I was going. And like I said, we just developed not only a friendship, but, you know, a family sense with Triple B. Our company was called Triple B, which is Best of Both Borders. And then we just kept moving from there. So I've known him for about 14, 15 years now, and we've just been making bread ever since, you know. We've had tours, we've had shows, we've done, from an indie point of view, we've done everything. I played Blues Fest, I've done this, I've done that, and we still doing it, so shouts to Mezz.
Now, I was able to read your article, which you did with Shifter Magazine earlier this year. Very well written article, and I think the last part that ended off, they were talking about your biggest lesson that you learned.
Yeah.
And you spoke about how you can't do everything by yourself.
Facts.
And I think that just piggybacks on what you just talked about, is all of that, having a team and all those people around you.
Yeah.
How important is it to have that inner circle of a team you can rely on to always keep you in check? Because to be an artist that's been almost a decade plus you've been in the game, right? So you've seen how many artists that you name come and go, whether
they ain't
too
here
early
no more.
sometime, rest in peace, or they just faded out into the wind, but you're still here strong. So how important is that as part of your progress and having that same core group?
Well, they ain't doing podcasts, I'll tell you that. No, I'm joking. I think it's really about, well, you said a core group and stuff like that. I'm not as big as I wanted to be per se, but I'm bigger than I ever thought I was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So like from an indie point of view, and like somebody who's always invested in their own craft and invested their own money into it, never took no handouts from nobody. It's big. It's amazing to see that you can help people or even inspire one person. You know what I mean? If this interview inspired one person, you know what I mean, to like take the reins of it and go do what they gotta do, I think my job was done, you know what I mean? But like with me and Mezz and like just the business sense of it, it's like we had a lot to offer, you know what I mean? Still got a lot to offer. And Ottawa was always kind of like counted out, you know what I mean? Like people being from here, with so many bigger or other cities and bigger cities and stuff like that, it's like, we already got that underdog mentality, you know what I mean? So why not like use it to your advantage and then play with the longevity sense, you know what I mean? Instead of just like trying to get hot, but I'm kind of rambling.
Nah, man, like I hear you.
Yeah,
I think like the big thing is how do you when you talk about Ottawa being like an underdog city, you talk about that whole wanting to be bigger than where you expected and where you are, but at the same time the journey's not done.
Exactly.
So now you're taking a new venture into the clothing fashion lifestyle with Pvstlife.
Yeah.
Talk about the lessons learned from being an artist that you plan on taking into your clothing brand.
That's sick. Well, me, I take criticism really well. Like, I take opinions and like criticism really well. If you say you don't like my shit, it's cool. Like, I'm not like emotional about it. Like, I've been rejected so many times that like, it doesn't bother me no more, right? Even if it's a good idea, which I've had amazing good ideas and people have passed on, and then now people doing it, you know what I mean? But with the clothing line, I think it gives me a little bit more freedom with music in my 20s and 30s, like early 30s, 20s, early 30s. Music is always like still a popularity contest, you know what I mean? Which I always want to be popular, so I wasn't tripping on not doing that. It was more just about the networking or the right time, right place. Music's chance and probability. Like I always say that, like not negatively, but like you really gotta be, your money gotta be perfect, everything gotta be really perfect for you to really catch that spark you need to musically.
That's why they get that advance.
Yeah, exactly, which is not negative, but I'm just saying it's like, it's far in between, where if you're a creative person, you could do other things other than music. You could manage, you could DJ, you could whatever. But me, I wanted to go to clothing because I've always loved clothing. I've always had a retail background. I've always, you know what I mean? If I wasn't making music, I'd be buying kicks, being fresh. Doing like one thing I know how to do is be fresh, you know what I'm saying? So when I started learning how to design clothes or help people design clothes, it made me just take a pride the same way like when I hear my song on the radio or hear my song out and about. It made me take pride to be like, yo, every time I see someone wearing my shirt, I'm like a schoolgirl. I'm just like bugged out. I'm so happy. And I've seen a lot of people at this point but that feeling, I think that's the feeling of it is what I kind of hone in on, if that makes any sense.
You know, your latest project you dropped, Uncle Snooky's Laundromat. You know, big up to you on that project. So,
Uncle Snooky's Laundromat.
so first of all, before we get into it, where can they find it?
Uncle Snooky's Laundromat, first of all, shouts to my Uncle Snooky. He's a real person. Rest in peace. He was amazing. It's on all platforms. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, YouTube. If you search Bobby Brugal and put Uncle Snooky's Laundromat, you're gonna find it no matter what. And yeah, just came out maybe about a week and a half ago. We need more streams, so like when you watch this, stop what you're doing, subscribe, press click, and just go run it up. Just run it up for me. You know what I mean? But no, it's a vibe.
I mean, you're a busy guy dropping projects. You know, you're the voice of the official basketball team of the city. You know, and on top of all that, you got a clothing brand. I mean, what else could we expect from you in the next? What could we expect to see? And let's say before the end of the year.
Okay, that's a good timeline. By the end of the year, we got like another 6 months left, 5 maybe.
So halftime right now.
Halftime. We're definitely trying to bring back the podcast I was doing. So I was doing a podcast called The Noose. The Noose, we did like 70 episodes, was real strong. It was a vibe, me and Kim. Trying to get some more energy behind that, but like that's still my sister from another mister. So we're gonna try to bring that back before the end of the year for the people. I'm gonna drop another album. I'm definitely gonna keep dropping music now that I got the drop music bug again. You know what I mean? Because it's really about momentum. You feel me? Like dropping music's really about like consistency and just like staying around it. Because people are always recording music, so why doesn't it come out? That's what people say, right? It's like that question, but
Be
it's
like
about.
Pac and have those secret tapes.
I got at least 4 albums recorded, at least. I'm serious. Like I could break out my laptop after and just start playing out shit, but we'll do that another time, part 2.
Now,
Serious.
the one thing which I could definitely say is, a lot of people say you bring that energy to the games. You know, you bring that hip hop type energy, which you might not get from certain type of hosts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when's the last time you ever heard someone say, when I say 6'1", you say, you know what I mean?
True.
You know what I mean? So it's,
Bang.
that's pretty hype the way you get the crowd energetic with that.
Thank
You know, what's it like for you when you're in these games and in the zone? Like, what's that like for you out there when you get the whole crowd hype and repping the city? Because how often does the city ever rep if it's not a Sens game, right?
Trust me, man. That's one thing we got to do as Otto. We got to be more fans of ourselves, like in general, all of us. Even me, I need to do better. But I do it. We do it in those certain spots, though, right? You know what I'm saying? The Blackjack games have been amazing. They've been revitalizing for me because I've always liked to host stuff. Like, with a DJ, like I've hosted parties in clubs. You know what I mean? Clubs are sick. You go to a club, it's late, everybody's dancing. You know what it is? It's this time of the night. Like, it's a whole different type of hosting, right? Then you have, I always say this too. If any artist is listening, get into hosting. If you're an artist and you not like feeling like your music is going where it needs to go, just start hosting. It's the same stuff. You know what I mean? It's the same stuff. So like, you know what I mean? Like you have that comfortability on the mic. And then the hosting gives you more comfortability because you're put in different, environments. So the Blackjack games have been extremely revitalizing for me because it's like, I always wanted to host, but I didn't know where I could like get off that energy. You know what I mean? Like it's different than the song. You gotta like crowd control, but in a different way. When it's my shows,
that's like a chorus, like getting the crowd to hit the hook with you. You know what I mean? So
it's a hard thing to do if you've never done it. So it's like when it's my shows on the music side, I know how to get somebody to say my raps because they my raps. But when you're in front of 2,000 people and you got to get them to say, y'all ready for this or whatever it may be, it's like that's a whole different thing. And then I also learned that like we're doing this for the kids. We're doing this. Everything we're doing right now is for the kids, yo. So it's cool to be cool with to your peers and stuff. But when you see that 10-year-old kid and he's like, yo,
that dude's amazing.
That's what you're like, wow, that's what really you're kind of getting a bucket in for. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I've really been loving about the hosting is just giving me an extra life. Like, I want to be like Terrence J now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get that. I want a VJ. Like, if they bringing back 106 in Park, let me know. Like, anybody got some stuff for me, I will do it. But it's fun, man. It's really, it's like, I feel like it's an extension of music, though, if you love people and music.
Last question before we get to wrapping it up is, rest in peace, Dolph, but he really preached and talked about ownership and black ownership. And how do you feel about the fact that, in hip hop and fashion and everything that we lead in this world, we don't have our own, really. And when we do, we don't really rep it as much as we should. Like, for example, if you're an artist and you're up and coming, you're up if you have Gucci or Balenciaga or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If you're an artist on the come up, it's a lot cooler to, for example, like, you don't see that many people on the come up repping. For example, right now, let's say there's a famous Ottawa athlete who is in the league, let's say right now. How cool would it be for them to be repping Pvstlife, because that's a brand of a local person who's a black entrepreneur who's repping their city. But instead, they'll rep like a senator's hat.
Sure.
Or shirt.
Well,
what do you think about, now I guess that's a long-winded way to say, what do you think about the direction of, in the next 5-10 years, us taking more ownership and supporting each other a lot more? Like when you see a Chinese community, the way they support each other, when you see a Jewish community, the way they support each other, black people, we gotta start supporting each other and coming together, and what do you think are kind of positive steps that we could take towards making that happen? I'm not saying you got the end-all be answer, but what are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I'm pretty sure, I think it's just the work. Like, you know what I mean? Like putting in the work, doing the work. I do agree with you on what you said. That was the longest question I ever heard.
I have to make sure I explain properly,
in a good way. I'm saying in a good way, but like, so I think we definitely should be more it should come together better, specifically. It depends on what city you're talking about, though.
We're talking about Ottawa right now. Like, for example, like we're doing our podcast out of BIA Media, specifically because this is a black-owned business that helps support other black businesses in the city of Ottawa. So that's why for us, Currency ENT is very important to mention that this is in partnership with BIA Media, because without BIA Media, there's no Currency ENT. But, you know what I mean? Like, for example, we didn't take this to XYZ at ABC, right? We kept it local and homegrown. So, we'd like to see more people repping Pvstlife. So, that note, where can people find it?
No, me too. I mean, I'm not straight. Like, I always think the hard work beats talent, right? Hustle beats talent. So no matter how talented you are, people only gonna support what they see. You know what I mean? In the nature of hustle and bustle. So me, I always do quality over quantity. Whether it's clothing, music, anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my goal. Like, I mean, if people support me because I'm black, I'm obviously extremely happy about it, because that's, my people's my people. Like, exactly. But I got out of the bag of doing that because I want to be like a Virgil. Yeah, I want to be like Virgil. I want to be like Kanye. I want to be, you know what I mean, in that space, because most of your homies ain't gonna obviously give you that extra oomph that you need from the jump.
But I'm saying though, we gotta change that mindset.
Yeah, but we changing it. I think like there's a certain,
and you hit it on the head. Your homies aren't gonna rep your shit because it's not that Gucci bear on the chest.
But you're right. But I feel like there's those people in position. It's like a chessboard. You know what I mean? It's like a chessboard. It's like certain pieces are in position.
You know what would be good to see people repping Pvstlife? Some blackjack players.
Of course.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's even.
But on that note, who you want to give a shout out to before we wrap this up? This is like a 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
No,
who you want to give a shout out to? Okay. This is your moment here.
I want to give a shout out to my pops. Shouts to Gilly. Shouts to Robin. Shouts to my mom. Shouts to S Reels. Honor and Code out now. Check out Honor and Code out, featuring Bobby Brugal. BN Media, amazing. They doing their thing over here. I'm happy to see that they're really doing their thing. Who else I got? DJ Mezz, Triple B, Past Life, Vic, Skin Deep, City Fidelia, you know, Hefe, everybody, you know, the whole team, man. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Pittsburgh's very own Bobby Brugal, man. Currency and TBA Media.
Yo, thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all soon.
All right, so let's get started. So there are 4 original elements of hip hop culture: breakdancing, DJing, rapping, and what else? Is it A, beatboxing, B, graffiti, C, singing, and D, freestyling?
I'm gonna say B, graffiti.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Graffiti.
You got it. You got it.
You know what I mean?
You got it. All right. Well, let's go with the second question. What's the name of Jay-Z's debut album? Is it A? That's too easy. I know. Is it A, The Blueprint, B, Reasonable Doubt, Watch the Throne, or American Gangster?
I'm making short-term goals when the weather falls. Shouts to Reasonable Doubt, man. Reasonable Doubt, man.
Is Hov part of your top 5?
Yeah, definitely.
Who else is in your top 5? Let them know.
Oh wow. Let's run a quick one up. All right, just from spitters. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Wayne,
Okay.
Camera.
Yeah, I can see it. I can
Put
see
my
it.
hand down that camera. Shouts to Pop, obviously. I know that's crazy.
A lot of New York in there. Makes sense. It is
Pretty much.
Hey, man. All right, well, let's go with the next one. So, who alongside Rick Rubin founded Def Jam Records in 1984? Is it Russell Simmons, Suge Knight, Prince, or Master P?
That's Russ, man. Russell Simmons, man. Def Jam. Sign me, Def Jam.
All right, well, hey, you got it, man. And that's straight facts. Thank you so much for having us. You got it.
Peace. What I will.